Imagine this. You're driving home from work, someone runs a red light, and boom, your life changes forever. But here's the terrifying part. Even if you have insurance, you could still end up bankrupt in Texas. I'm not exaggerating. If you have the state minimum coverage that most Texans carry, you're driving around with a financial time bomb. Did you know that the average hospital stay after a car accident costs over $57,000? But Texas only requires you to carry $30,000 in coverage per person. Do the math. That's a $27,000 gap coming straight out of your pocket. And that's just for one person. I've spent the last decade in the insurance industry, and I'm pulling back the curtain today on why Texas's 30-60-25 minimum coverage could absolutely destroy your financial future in 2025. Stay with me, because in the next 6 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do to protect yourself and your family. Let's break this down. When you see 30-60-25 on your policy, that means $30,000 for injuries per person, up to $60,000 per accident, and $25,000 for property damage. Sounds decent until you look at the real numbers. I know what you're thinking. But I've never been in a serious accident, so I'll be fine. Listen, I thought the same thing until I saw hundreds of clients lose everything. The average new vehicle now costs over $48,000, while your property damage coverage is just $25,000. Hit a new Tesla or truck, and you're on the hook for more than $23,000 out of pocket. But wait, you might say, isn't that what insurance is for? Yes, but the minimums haven't kept pace with inflation. The last time Texas updated these requirements was years ago, when medical costs and car prices were much lower. Here's where it gets scary. The Baylor College of Medicine found that the average hospitalization for auto accident injuries in Texas exceeds $57,000. That's nearly double what your basic policy covers per person. Imagine causing an accident with multiple injured people. Your $60,000 total coverage would be exhausted almost immediately. What happens then? You get sued personally. They can come after your savings, your home, even your future wages. Thousands of Texans face bankruptcy every year because of this exact scenario. Now, I'm going to show you what adequate protection really looks like in 2025. The magic numbers you need to remember are 100, 300, 100. That means $100,000 per person for injuries, $300,000 per accident, and $100,000 for property damage. This level of coverage protects you from most accident scenarios that would otherwise leave you financially devastated. But here's what the insurance companies don't want you to know. Even that isn't enough by itself. You absolutely need to add uninsured, underinsured motorist coverage. Why? Because 1 in 5 Texas drivers has no insurance at all, and many more have those bare minimum policies we just talked about. Let me walk you through a real example. My client Sarah was hit by a driver with minimum coverage. Her medical bills hit $90,000. The other driver's insurance paid their maximum of $30,000, leaving Sarah with $60,000 in bills. Without underinsured motorist coverage, she would have been financially ruined. Instead, her policy covered the difference. But won't all this extra coverage cost a fortune? That's the question I get most often. Here's the truth. Going from state minimums to proper protection typically costs between $20 to $40 more per month. Think about that. For the price of a few coffees each week, you can protect your entire financial future. Some of you are wondering about collision and comprehensive coverage. Let me be crystal clear. If your car is worth more than a few $1,000s, you need these coverages too. Remember that $48,000 average new car price? If you total your vehicle and only have liability, you'll be making car payments on a vehicle you no longer have. Here's what you need to do today. First, check your current policy limits. If they're at the 30-60-25 minimum, call your insurance company immediately. Request a quote for 100 or 300 or 100 with uninsured, underinsured motorist coverage. Make sure to ask about bundling discounts. Combining home and auto can often offset much of the increased premium. Second, consider your deductibles carefully. A higher deductible lowers your premium, but make sure you have that amount saved in an emergency fund. I recommend a $1,000 deductible for most people. It significantly reduces your premium while still being manageable in an emergency. Third, review your policy every year. Vehicle values and medical costs continue to rise, so coverage that's adequate today may not be in the future. Mark your calendar and make this an annual financial checkup. The average full coverage car insurance in Texas now costs about $2,700 annually. But the cost of inadequate coverage after a serious accident, potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars, and financial ruin. I've seen too many families devastated by accidents when they thought they were properly insured. Don't let that happen to you. Take action now before it's too late. If this video helped you understand the risks of minimum coverage, hit that like button and subscribe for more financial protection strategies. Next week, I'm covering the 5 insurance add-ons that are actually worth the money, and the 3 that are complete wastes. Drop a comment below with any questions about your current coverage, and I'll try to help you out. Remember, when it comes to auto insurance in Texas, minimum coverage means minimum protection. Drive safe and make sure you're properly covered.